So starting with the nitrogen cycle, atmospheric nitrogen can be turned into nitrates by a natural lightning strike, and also it can be combined with rhizobium to turn into ammonia, which is taken by nitrifying bacteria to turn into nitrates, which is taken up by plants to make proteins, and the plants are then eaten by animals to get that protein. And then from there, nitrogenous waste are either plant waste or animal excrete, which release ammonia, which is then taken by nitrifying bacteria and turned back into nitrates, or the nitrates can be taken by denitrifying bacteria turned back into atmospheric nitrogen. So to get into the part why nitrogen oxides are a problem, they are one of the greenhouse gases, and basically the greenhouse effect is when the sun heats up the Earth's surface and the atmosphere keeps this heat in. When we add more greenhouse gases like water vapor, methane, carbon dioxide, in addition to nitrogen oxide, these are kept and trapped in the atmosphere and heats up and causes global warming as well as other issues. So as I mentioned in the other slide with the nitrogen cycle, the way that agriculture causes so much production of nitrogen oxide is through the amount of animal waste that is produced. And especially in the United States and North America, we have the overproduction of farm animals, the overproduction of, when we want all those hamburgers and they're made and the way they're made and overproduced, mass produced, it causes so much waste, so much plant waste to go into the air. And this is what causes the 67% of nitrogen oxide emissions. It's usually kind of framed as, oh, it's all pollution, but showing here as at 67%, it is a big deal with all this agriculture. So I know that from here, pollution doesn't seem like it's as much of a big deal because it's only 10%, but that 10% is only from nitrogen oxide emissions. So it doesn't take into account the sulfur oxide emissions and the other greenhouse gases that are being put into the air by pollution. So it is important to remember that, carpool whenever you can, and, reduce energy as much as possible. So as I mentioned earlier, lightning does create nitrates naturally. So that is where the atmospheric deposition comes from. But human sewage and biomass burning does create a lot of nitrates. Not as much as the others, but it's still something to watch out for. So when nitrogen oxides rise into the air, they can mix with water and oxygen to create acid rain. And when acid rain comes back down to Earth, it can cause problems such as killing fish and other aquatic life in streams, lakes, and oceans. It also causes health issues to us. It can burn down limestone statues and buildings and harm other materials, buildings, and statues, as well as it can hurt our crops and hurt our other plants that we have in our world. And then smog, it is created by ozone lowering down onto the ground, and it mostly affects our health. So lung problems, respiratory diseases, they get worse the more smog there is. Also, global warming is caused by the greenhouse effect in general, and with that, the consequences are, rising climate levels, rising ocean levels because of ice melting, ice caps melting, as well as animals and fish having changing physical features, having to adapt to the hotter environment. And then as well as overgrowth of algae. This causes by the excess nutrients that come in from nitrogen oxides, and it's harmful to areas with streams, lakes, and oceans because it blocks fish pathways and it causes a chemical imbalance in the streams that can be harmful to their lives as well. So nitrogen oxides negatively affect our bodies by increased respiratory illnesses and increased allergy-related issues. This is caused by us taking in these bad chemicals and them irritating our lungs, and this causes an increase in bronchitis and asthma, as well as with continued irritation to our lungs, lung cancer. Also, with this, it can cause heart problems and headaches and migraines. So, what we can do to end the negative cycle of nitrogen oxide emissions is by participating in Meatless Monday. So, Meatless Monday is when you take one day out of your week to not eat any meals with meat in them, and this greatly reduces our impact on the environment. A study showed that for every 1 kilogram of food that we consume, 30 kilograms of greenhouse gas is emitted into the air. So by participating in Meatless Monday, it's not about becoming vegetarian, it's not about being vegan. It's just doing your part to impact the environment in a positive way. It also greatly reduces your health risk and it helps animals greatly. So thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it.